Nikki. Hi guys, how are you?
Good, thanks, Olivia.
Wow.
Good. Yeah, just as Nikki said, I just put my 5-month-old down for her last nap of the day. Fingers crossed she cooperates. We have 3 and the other 2 are downstairs, so they'll stay down there with daddy. Thanks for taking some time to chat with me. It's evening over here on the East Coast. I really greatly appreciate it. And I had the pleasure of screening a couple of the episodes. And so that is always nice to be able to do that before I chat with you guys. So I wanted to start out with a question for Sydney, if I could. I was curious how you felt you related to the character you voiced for.
Say it again?
How you relate to your character that you are a voice actor for?
Yes, of course. Sorry, cut out a little bit, but I feel really excited to be portraying Robbie. I relate with him because, I know how it feels to be growing up and to be going through something different. I have no idea what it's like to be related to Earthborn Terrans, but, acting and doing something different, it did always feel like I was doing something like a little different than my peers when I was growing up. So I know that Robbie feels the same way. He's got to kind of save the world and do his homework at the same time. So, it can be tough to balance, but I think we're just showing kids that you can do it with the help of your family and the people that you love.
That's awesome. And that is great. That leads into my next question that I would like both Dale and Ant to answer if they could. I'll start with Dale. What message do you want viewers to get out of the show?
It's like Sydney was just referencing, the core themes of Transformers EarthSpark are family, hope, optimism, inclusion, acceptance, all through the storytelling that centers around our new and original family, the Maltos. That's a blended family of humans and this whole brand new species of Transformers we call the Terrans. And they certainly face a lot of obstacles outside of their family, but also there's internal conflicts that are relatable to everyone, certainly all of us, and hopefully everyone watching at home as well. But no matter what you face in life, anything is possible if you lean on the ones that you love in your family.
I have very little to add to either of those fantastic statements from Sydney and Dale. Yep, I mean, Transformers EarthSpark is about acceptance, really, and at its heart and center, it's the biggest through, whether or not it's accepting Megatron into the group despite his past transgressions. It's accepting Terrans. It's accepting so many different wonderful things, different types of people from all walks of life coming together. Despite obstacles presented to them.
That's great. Thank you both very much. Sydney, back over to you. I was curious, outside of voice acting, what are some of your hobbies? What do you like to do in your spare time?
Oh man, well, I'm a full-time college student, so I don't know if I necessarily love studying, but I love what I am studying, African American Studies in English with a minor in film. So I would say that those are like some of the things I like to look at, a lot of poetry, a lot of history, and sometimes through the lens of film. So I really just love art. I'm sure that comes, all back to this, but just really, figuring out kind of the past and the present, and that's kind of what we do here as well. There are some past references that are in there, referencing like older Transformers movies and franchises, but then it comes to the new and it all comes together. So I would say I like to do the same thing in my personal time.
It's awesome. Yeah, college can be quite demanding. I understand that. I stopped at my master's. I was done. My friend was like, "Do you want to go get your doctorate?" I'm like, no, I'm done. I'm good with my master's. I am content. I don't need to be Dr. Douglas, preferably. So I totally get that, but I'm glad to hear that you're enjoying it. And that sounds like an awesome line of study. So congrats.
Thank you so much.
And I was curious if you had any funny moment or a memorable time during recording or producing the film that you could share.
I don't know necessarily. There were, as we were ramping into it, we were obviously we were in the middle of COVID was happening. So just a lot of the record sessions are just people just trying to get equipment up and running, and some people putting themselves into like little cupboards, and it's really sad to watch, and you just feel really bad, but like in the heart of the moment you go, very large people sometimes in a very, very small space with like a blanket over their head for like 3 or 4 hours, and you just want to get them a DoorDash or something, or like a Postmates, and help them out, because I mean, our voice cast such incredible troopers across the board to do these constant, online, dailies, these tech chests and all these things just to get up and running. But yeah, it was not side-splittingly hilarious, but definitely something I'll look back on and go, oh, remember those times, the cupboard times.
Totally understand that. And Dale, that leads into my next question. Coming out of COVID, right? I mean, obviously, Aunt just to reference that I know it was very challenging for you guys. It's challenging in all of our personal lives, but how was it kind of getting out of that? Did you guys, I'm not sure of the production timeline, but was it kind of a transition into COVID and then a transition like out of COVID where you could actually meet back and do things outside of underneath the blanket under a desk somewhere?
Yeah, we were still developing the series for before our green light when we were all sent home for the COVID protocols. So I had moved into the studio last week of January 2020, and we were sent home mid-March. And then we continued to develop just remotely over Zoom for even to this day. A lot of us are still working at home from Zoom. Within the last couple of months, Nickelodeon has graciously offered us a footprint in the studio space for those who are feeling comfortable and interested in using it and gathering in person. And we've been doing that in small increments, and it's feeling really good to be together, to share space and feel like that family unit that a crew we know a crew can be.
Yeah, I work full time as well, so I totally understand that. I'm primarily telework, but yeah, I was sent home mid-March as well, and I like teleworking, but I do miss that, interaction with people on a daily basis, and so I totally get that, and it's nice to have that camaraderie, whenever you get back into the office and teamwork that you lack over Zoom.
Yeah.
So that's awesome. I'm glad to hear it. Sydney, do you have any role models or any mentors that you look up to or reference?
Oh man, that's a good question. Well, I will say my mom. She's the one that got me into acting, and I think that she's just such an amazing woman. I would say one of my acting mentors, Miss Wendy Raquel Robinson. She trained me from when I was really young. She's also on a Paramount Plus show, The Game, which is super cool. So I really love seeing her work, and just being really inspired by her, and being able to have trained under her was really amazing. And then I will also say Dale and Ant. So cool seeing you guys work. You guys create. I mean, I just love, hearing about your creativity and how you came up, and about your college days and experiences. So that's so cool as well.
That's awesome. That sounds like a great list, and I know they greatly appreciate that call out. It sounds extremely genuine, and you guys sound like a wonderful team. So, Dale and Ant, I was curious what some of your hobbies are outside of obviously all of this production work that you do. I'll start with you, Ant, if I could.
Lots of hobbies. I love reading, but I think most of my hobby time is consumed with a little miniature war game called the Warhammer 40,000, and it's very silly, and it's a lots of fun. But it's something I can do with my kids too, and so it's good. It's good bonding moments, painting little people.
That's fun.
Very creative. I'm a lover of the great outdoors, so in any free time that I have, I'm out skateboarding, which is my favorite hobby, or surfing if the water temperature is high enough, hiking, camping, you name it, just being outside is where you'll find me.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm not an outdoors person just because I'm extremely clumsy, and I mean I can't even walk without probably breaking an ankle or something. But my kids love it outside, so we're usually out in our driveway, sidewalk chalk and stuff like that, but not hiking or canoeing or surfing or anything. And I do love reading as well, if I ever get the time to do so. So in closing, I was just curious if there's anything that you guys want viewers to know about the series, as it launches out on DVD. I know we already talked about the clear theme, but anything they can expect, any tidbits without giving any spoilers?
Yeah, the episode, the last episode on the DVD that's out now is episode 110, and in that episode we introduced 3 new Terran Transformers that joined the Malto family. So as the season progresses, we get to explore who Jawbreaker, Nightshade, and Hashtag are, and have a lot of adventures and fun with them. And as the stakes are raised and the villain bears down on them, they get to shine and become a part of the Malto family and a team of heroes. And it's a beautiful journey.
Great. Ant or Sydney, anything to add before we close?
Sure.
Yeah, go to Sydney, go.
Oh,
You-
well, I was
Sorry
just
about that.
no, it's all good. Just saying, you know, it is a very family-oriented show, and I hope that people see that as well as feel that when they're watching it with their own families and their loved ones, because family isn't always just who's blood related to you, but who you love and who uplifts you and makes you feel great. And I think the show really exemplifies that.
I'm excited for everybody to watch Mandroid's journey.
That's awesome. Well, again, thank you so much for your time. I greatly appreciate it. I enjoyed learning about you guys, and I'm excited for my viewers to see this interview and watch the series.
Thank you for having us.
Thank
Thank you
you
very much.